the first thing that we will be doing is we will download the form I-751, and I will show you on how to get your form for free and a legit one. Okay, so first things first, let's go to Google search and type in form I-751 and then hit enter. So from here, you will be able to see the form right away, and you can click this one. Make sure that it's always showing USCIS. It's because some of agencies are also posting their forms just like this one, citizenpath.com. So these are agencies, immigration agencies that also help or offer some forms, but I would highly recommend to use the USCIS form because they updated the revision date from time to time. I highly recommend as well to keep checking at the USCIS website because, for example, if you downloaded your form too early and then in the middle of it, USCIS updated their form, and by the time that you submit your application, you are still using an old form which has an old revision date. So later on, I will be showing you on how to check what is the current form that they are providing. Okay, let's go ahead and start clicking this website. So you can see that this is for the petition to remove conditions on residence. This is for the K1 applicants, because there are some additional forms that most people got confused. Just always remember that if you are a K1 visa holder when you enter the United States and they provided you a 2-year green card, so you will need to have a I-751 form. So let's go ahead and go at the bottom part of this page. So as you can see, there is an edition date. So the current edition date for the form I-751 is the December 2nd, 2019. So I know it's year 2019 and we are now in 2021, right? As long as you get your form from the USCIS website, you don't have to worry about it. But always check this page. Whenever you apply for any kinds of forms, always go back and check before you submit, because like I've mentioned earlier, they keep updating the revision dates. They keep updating their forms. So I highly recommend to check this out before you submit your form, because if you did not check it and you use the old revision date, they will reject your form or your application. Alright, so there is also an instruction here. I highly recommend to also download the instruction form. It will really help you understand what is needed to include on your form and how you can fill out each questions on that form. So we'll go ahead and download this form I-751. When we download this form I-751, so this is gonna be how it's going to look like. Since I want my video to be always short and concise, I have already pre-filled it for you so that we can just go ahead and check what are the information needed to fill out, and we're gonna make it faster. Okay, let's go ahead and start filling out this form for petition to remove conditions on residence. So this is also known as form I-751. So I'm going to show you where you can find the edition date. That's gonna be on each bottom of the page. So the edition date as of right now is the 2nd of December 2019. Okay, let's start here. Leave the top one blank because this is for the USCIS only, and then let's start from here. So this is my married name, so I used my husband's last name after I got married, so I put my married name in this part, and then the other name used, I also put my maiden name. Maiden name is, this is my name when I was single before I got married. Okay, but if you did not use your married name, then you can use your maiden name on this part, and then just leave this part blank, okay, or NA. And then this is gonna be your date of birth. So I put my date of birth here, and then the country, which is Philippines, and then the citizenship or nationality, then I put here, and then your alien registration number. And of course, you can find your alien registration number on your green card as well. And then your social security, you can put it here. USCIS online account. I don't have any online account. And then your marital status, I choose married, and then the date of my marriage, which is June 24, 2018, the place of my marriage, and then I put here the conditional residence expires, my expiration date on my green card, and then on this part is my mailing address. So the in care of name, this is only if somebody will gonna be picking up the mail on behalf of you. So I put NA in there because I will be the one who's going to receive that letter. And then this is my address. This is the current mailing address that I have. And then on this number 16 is your physical address different than your mailing address. So I put no because this is just the same with my physical address. So since I put no in here, this is automatically graded out. Even though I wanted to enter something like NA, the PDF file won't allow me to enter anything. It is because this is like an auto program. So if I put yes in here, then I can go ahead and type in my physical address. But yeah, if you can put NA, that would be great. But if you can't, that will be fine as well, because I've been using this kind of PDF file since day one when I'm filing for application, and yeah, I did not get any rejection at all. Alright, so let's move on. Let's go to additional information about you. So are you in removal, deportation, or rescission proceedings? I said no. Was a fee paid to anyone other than attorney in connection with this petition? I answered no. Have you ever been arrested, detained, charged, and indicted, fined, or imprisoned for breaking or violating any law or ordinance? I said no. And if you answered yes to item number 20, then you have to provide a detailed explanation in part 11, which is probably at the very back. So this is for additional information on separate sheet of paper. And you also have to refer to what initial evidence is required for the form I-751, instruction to determine what criminal history document to include with your petition. Okay, let's move on to this part. If you are married, is this a different marriage than the one through which you gain conditional resident status? I said no, because I'm still married on the same person. If you are not married to the same person, then you have to answer yes. So have you resided at any other address since you became a permanent resident? And I said yes here because yes, I've moved my address since I got my residence card. So if you answered yes to the items number 22, provide a list of all the addresses where you have resided since becoming a permanent resident and the dates you resided at those locations in the space provided in part 11 additional information. Okay? Next is your spouse or parents currently serving with or employed by the U.S. government and serving outside the United States. I put no because yeah. So my parents and my spouse parent are not employed by the U.S. government. Okay, so don't worry about this part. I'm gonna show you at the very end of this video because I have put my address at the back. Okay, so part 2, biographic information. So item number 1, ethnicity. So I am not Hispanic or Latino. I have checked this one. And then item number 2, race. I am Asian. And then height, weight, and then eye color, which is brown, hair color, black. In part 3, basis for petition, joint filing. So I'm filing jointly since I'm still married to the same person who filed my petition for the K1. And then I answered, I'm filing this joint petition together with my spouse. Okay, so waiver for individual filing requests. So these are only applicable if you have already terminated your marriage or had divorce with your previous spouse, or your spouse is deceased. So yeah, this is where you can check the box here. I leave it blank because this does not apply to me, to my case. So in part 4, this is information about the U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse. So if filing as a child separately, information about the U.S. citizen and things like that. So the relationship, spouse, all right, or former spouse. So I check this box. And then let's go ahead and move on. So other information. So this is the name of my spouse. So I put his name in here, his date of birth, his social security, and he doesn't have an A number because he is a U.S. citizen and not a immigrant. Okay, so the physical address, we put our address in here. Okay, part 5. So information about your children. So I put my child name here and the date of birth. So I also answered no in this question number 4. So is this child living with you? So my child is not currently living with me, so that's why I said no. And then number 5, is this child applying with you? I put no as well because he is not applying with me. Alright, number 5 or part 5, information about your children, continuation. So this is the address of my child. So Purok Paglaom, Barangay Malipayon, Bacolod, Negros Occidental, and then child 2 if any, and then the physical address. I only have one child, so I put one child in here. So as much as possible, if I can just write down NA, I am actually putting NA on each question. Alright, so on part 5, it's still information about your children, so I just leave it blank. And then let's move on to part number 6. So this is accommodation for individuals with disabilities and or impairments. And then the question is, are you requesting an accommodation because of your disabilities and or impairments? I said no. Then number 2, are you requesting an accommodation because of your spouse disabilities and or impairments? I said no. Are you requesting an accommodation because of your included children disabilities or impairments? I said no. And then if you answered yes to items number 1 to 3, select any applicable box for items number 4A, which is here, until 4C. So I leave it blank because it's not applicable to me. And then let's move on to part 7. This is for the petitioner statement, contact information, acknowledgement of appointment at USCIS Application Support Center, certification, and signature. So let's go ahead and check this one. So this is the petitioner statement. So select the box for either item number 1A or 1B if applicable. Select the box for item number 2. So number 1A, I check this box, which I can read and understand English and have read and understand every question and instruction on this petition, as well as my answer to every question I have read and understand the acknowledgement of appointment at USCIS Application Support Center. Okay, so I just leave it blank right in there, and then I put my contact information, which is my telephone number and my email. And then under the acknowledgement of appointment at USCIS, this is automatic. So I did not enter this information. This is just the PDF file that automatically put these initials. So yeah, just wanted to let you know that I did not put it in there. It's just automatic. But maybe if you are not getting an automatic information, you can just put your name in there, or it's up to you. You can follow that one as well. Okay, let's move on to the part 7, which is the petitioner statement continuation. So you have to put the date of your signature in this box, and then your signature, which is in handwritten signature, not electronically. Okay, and then under part 8, this is for your spouse or individual listed in part 4. Okay, so this is for my spouse. So let's go ahead. So yeah, of course we check 1A since we did not use an interpreter. Okay, you can put 1B if you use an interpreter. Okay, so let's move on here. This is for the spouse contact information. I put his phone number here and an email. And then on part 8, it's the same thing. It's an automatic pre-filled here. So he put Mark Arthur Smith, and yeah, okay. And then the signature and the date signed. Then I leave NA in this one because this is just for interpreters information if you had an interpreter. And then I think that would be it. Yep, that's it. It's just quick and easy. Okay, so we're almost done. So we are now at the very end of this page, which is the part 11. This is only for additional information. So let's say, for example, on the form earlier, if you need an extra space because it won't fit on that form, you can go ahead and use this form. You can print as much as you can. If it doesn't, if you will really use all of these items here, then try to use or try to print another page. Alright, so all you have to do is to put your full name in here, and then your alien number, as well as your page number, and then part number and item number 22. If you remember earlier that I was asked if I have lived in a different address when I received my green card. So yes, I have moved on a different address. So this is the continuation of my answer. So they asked me to put the address on this part and the date when I lived on this address. So I put here the address and then the date when I stayed there. Okay, so yeah, that's just how you fill out this form. So let's go back. So you will find the page number on that form or on that question earlier. So remember, it's page 2, part 1, and item number 22. So let's go back. So page 2. So if you remember, I was asked on this part, have you resided at any other address since you became a permanent resident? And I said yes to this part. So they're telling me that if I answered yes to item number 22, I have to provide a list of all the addresses where I have resided since becoming a permanent resident, and the dates you resided at those locations in the space provided at part number 11, additional information. So this is where you have to remember also. So the page number, this is where you can find the page number. So this is page number 2 of 11. So the total pages is 11, and this is page number 2. And then it's part number 1. This is the part number 1 question, right? If you go down here, yeah, that is this is still part number 1 question. And then this is the question of item number 22. So I have put here at the very end of this page, I put the page number. Okay, so I put the page number, the part number, and then item 22. Alright, so that's how you put your additional information at the back part of this page, which is on part 11. I hope this video could able to help you out. If you have any question, please comment down below. I am actually reading all the comments, and I'm trying to answer all the questions as much as possible.